welcome to the State of the City Address presented by the Trenton Rotary Club and the Trenton Business Association. I'd like to welcome everybody that's on Zoom, joining us by Zoom. And I also want to take a moment to thank our sponsors for sponsoring the event. We have the Southern Wayne County Regional Chambers. We have Beckett and Raider. We have the Trenton Profile Magazine. We have DTE Energy, Public Service Credit Union. We want to thank you so much for supporting the Trenton community by sponsoring this event. And I would like to pause, as we always do, start our meetings with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I also wanted to thank Comcast for being one of our sponsors as well. I'd like to call up Rob Bovitz to do the invocation for our group today. Rob, there you are.
Let's bow our heads as we ask for God's blessing. Dear Lord, we ask that you bless our annual State of the City, Trenton Rotary, and Business Association luncheon. We pray that your bounty nourishes our bodies and gives us the strength to continue your good works throughout our neighborhoods, communities, state, nation, and world as a whole. Lord, these past 2 years have challenged our physical, emotional, and mental health, and we strive to provide positive examples as individuals striving to better and enhance those that we can influence. We ask that you bless Mayor Steven, his council, department heads, and dedicated employees throughout the great city of Trenton. We have enjoyed continuing quality of life through dependable and caring police and fire, parks and recreation programming, and our beautiful waterfront. We are thankful for our local businesses as they provide needed jobs and resources to the citizens and support our city services wholeheartedly. We ask for these and all your blessings in Christ Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you, Rob. Okay, Trenton Rotary Club, you know us. We're people of action and we're making a difference by serving others. We're part of a global network, 1.4 million members strong with 46,000 clubs. Here in the city of Trenton, you've seen us ringing bells for the Salvation Army or perhaps volunteering by helping the Salvation Army at their Thanksgiving Day dinner or their Christmas shop where we donated STEM toys and gathered up gift cards for teenagers. Maybe you've seen us at the Downriver for Veterans or participating in the Friends of the Detroit River cleanup at Elizabeth Park in the Trenton shoreline. Or perhaps you've seen us out there in the community planting trees. Certainly you've seen us presenting scholarships at the Trenton High School or maybe even reading to the elementary schools at Hedke and Anderson. Perhaps you've seen us unloading your boxes of confidential information at the community shred. I know you've seen us right here last year twice, helping out at the COVID clinic. Maybe you brought your kids this past October to the Hedke Trunk and Treat and you've seen us passing out candy. Or maybe you've seen us at the Trenton Towers presenting information on cyber security. Maybe you've seen us sponsoring the robotic team over here at the high school. I could go on and on about how we proudly serve the city of Trenton. But in the spirit of saving time, I want to move to how you can help us. We have our main fundraiser coming up on March 12th, the Shamrock Shindig. Please consider joining this St. Patty's Day themed party. You can purchase tickets at the registration table for $65. You can purchase a raffle ticket for $50 where you have 20 chances to win a prize of $250 or more. You can buy both the raffle ticket and the event ticket for $100. That's saving you $15. You can also go to TrentonRotary.net to get your tickets online. So please consider attending and or purchasing raffle tickets to support your local Trenton Rotary. Also, February 21st, right here at Westfield, we are having our Red Cross blood drive. Please go to redcrossblood.org to sign up Monday, February 21st from 1 to 7. If you have any questions, our chair, Lori Dixon, She'll be happy to answer any of your questions. There's a severe blood shortage in the community right now, in the blood banks. 10 years, it hasn't been this bad. Okay, the State of the City, we've been presenting with the Trenton Business Association for many years now. And I'd like to turn the meeting over to Chriselle Kohler, the Trenton Business Association President. Chriselle?
Thank you, Bea. Alrighty, I'm Chriselle Kohler. Welcome, everyone. Good afternoon. And my business is Elder Care. We help the elderly in their homes, but more importantly, I'm president of the Trenton Business Association. So on behalf of our association, we want to thank everyone who's here and the many Rotarians who are also TBA members. And if you're not a member, maybe you might want to think about it. But with all of us being part of it, the more that we're involved and the more members we have, we'll just keep moving forward. And Trenton is really rocking right now. So let's keep going in that way, in that direction. But for the past 20 years, we've honored many, many awesome businesses over the year. So I'm going to list them off because it's important to know. Like, let's not forget about them just because they're not nominated this year. And many of them are actually in this room. We have Doctors Jackson, Snyder, and Parker, Oakwood South Shore, Home Sweet Home, The Framery, Metro Shores Credit Union, Colors by Kim, Fritz Enterprises, Mr. Handyman, Savannah's, Dan's Barbershop, West Grange Pharmacy, The European Boutique, Savannah's again, The Lighthouse, Captain's Headquarters, Roundhouse Barbecue, Open Book Theater, and one year we had Business Person of the Year, John McNally. Then there was also Turago, and last year, All About Grace. This year is the same. We have five awesome nominees. We'll start with the Vintage Market Mercantile. They are new to Trenton, but nominated for the great things they have already done for the community with their well-attended pop-up festivals. Not only do they orchestrate and run the Trenton Farmers Market, they host many fun events for the community that include other businesses. They have brought some life back into Trenton, and it is really, really nice. Great jobs, ladies. They've done so much for the local community, and I am happy to see them in Trenton. All right, we also have Martinson's Family of Funeral Homes. They were nominated for the many things that they do for churches, groups, and events in our community. Not only is their business open 24/7 to help families deal with personal crisis, during the ongoing pandemic, they also supported many charities and events in a very unassuming way. Their staff is the most gracious and helpful to all families in great time of grief. And also, they do a wonderful job with pets, so keep that in mind. We also have Kevin James Menswear was nominated for their call to action during the pandemic and their selfless efforts to produce PPE masks for hospitals, frontline workers, and healthcare staff that were searching for non-existent safety protection at the onset of the COVID crisis. We also have South Valley Internal Medicine. They were nominated for their quick response to the pandemic by being the first facility in the area to provide COVID vaccinations. Dr. Lovey was even interviewed on Good Morning America about his work during the pandemic. Their office was also the first approved site in our area to carry monoclonal antibodies therapy for COVID patients. I hope I said that right. His staff, as many healthcare facilities, have worked to care for so many with heart and graciousness for over 2 years, and they are truly appreciated. Then we have one more. Mr. Nix was nominated for all of their behind-the-scenes giving to groups and community projects in need. Through staff shortages and hardships, owner Rob was kind enough and smiling even if he was waiting tables or cooking in the kitchen. He also was so gracious to host the Rotary Club. It was able to allow them to meet in the basement until you met back here, and that they are grateful for. Well, in the meantime, if you were nominated, if you'd like to come up, please, all of you, and we can give you a round. All right, then it comes down to, there were 5 awesome nominations, but we decided to go with 2, and the 2 were because these 2 businesses and what they did during the pandemic was just really, really outstanding. So we wanted to give them special attention. So the first would be Kevin James Menswear. So Jessica? Oh, I guess it's kind of, yeah, I'm sorry.
I can move around.
Oh, picture, sorry. Oh, okay. Just hold it for a second. And then we'll do pictures. How about that? Okay, and then the second one is South Valley Internal Medicine. Manager Frankie and Dr. Lowy. Aren't they here? I thought they were here.
Also congratulate you for your nomination.
No, that's not third place. We're all winners here.
That's right.
Okay. And then also, traditionally, we have hung the plaque at Trenton Trib. Kathy's been so gracious to proudly hang the plaque of all the businesses of the year. So now we're going to hang it at the City Hall. So we would like to give this to the mayor, if you could come up, and we'll present this to you. Awesome.
Thank you, Chriselle, and congratulations to the winners of the Trenton Business Association of the Year. I do have to say that the Zoom participants missed the sponsors the first half of the meeting, so I do want to apologize. There was some technical issues, but I do want to repeat the sponsors of the event. We had the Southern Wayne County Regional Chambers, we had Beckett and Rader, we had the Trenton Profile Magazine, we have DTE Energy, we have Public Service Credit Union, and we have Comcast Business. So thanks again to the sponsors. And I also wanted to say, I failed to introduce myself. I'm Valerie Zagalonis. I am the president of the Trenton Rotary Club. And if I could have all of our members please stand, because you worked so hard and you deserve to be recognized. Please stand. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And that also gives me the opportunity to tell the rest of you that's listening or are here, if you ever are so inclined to want to start serving and giving back to others, you're not going to find a better organization than the Trenton Rotary Club. So you can go to trentonrotary.net. You can talk to anyone that's wearing the badge. We'd love to have more members so we can continue the good works in our community. Thank you. Okay. Next up, every year, Trenton Rotary selects service above self. And we didn't have to look very hard to find a community champion this year. There's more than 13,000 children in the Michigan foster care system. 2 local foster children moms, Charity Bronson and Kim Allen, quickly recognized that the $17.50 a day per child that the state pays for foster children doesn't nearly cover the expense of caring for these kids that are removed from their homes due to neglect and abuse, with only the clothing on their backs. I recall Kim sharing a story of a baby showing up at 2 a.m. by a police officer wearing only the diaper the baby had on. So Kim and Charity, their journey started as a simple request for donations. Things like clothes, shoes, baby items like car seats. It quickly grew from storing these types of items in their homes to having to rent storage units. From there, it grew to their current location, an actual home on Allen Road in Southgate that's filled with items for children of all ages. Downriver Foster Closet, a nonprofit organization, is the result of these 2 women who recognize the need to help foster parents at no charge get the items they need so they can properly care for these children. It's my honor to present Charity Bronson. Kim could not make it today, co-founder of the Downriver Foster Closet. Come on up. In addition to receiving the plaques and the recognition, every Rotary Christmas party, we collect for charity as part of getting into the party. This year we collected for St. Philip's Food Pantry, we collected adult hygiene products, and then we also collected for the Downriver Foster Closet. There's two things that they will say need to be brand new for these kids. They are socks and underwear. So part of the admittance to get into the Christmas party, we have a Santa sock filled with children's socks and underwears, 170 items for the kids.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for all the good work you do. And tell Kim we're sorry she couldn't make it, but we really appreciate her. All right, now, while we're here, it's time to invite up our mayor, Steven Rzeppa, to give the State of the City address. Come on up, Steven.
Thank you very much. Never got to use two microphones at once. All right. Oh, perfect. Okay. So I think today's already been a monumental success for the mere fact that I was able to eat lunch without getting any food on myself. So very excited for that. But good afternoon, everybody, and thank you all very, very much for being here. Thank you to the members of the Trenton Business Association and the Rotary Club for everything that you've done, not only to put this event on today, but throughout the year and doing all the things that make our community such a special place. Do have to give a special shout out as well to Kevin James Menswear. In addition to all their great work throughout the pandemic and their recognition as Business of the Year, Jessica performed the even more monumental task of making me look presentable today. So definitely need to give the shout out there. But so thank you again too for all of you for taking time out of your busy schedules to be here today. Do want to recognize both on Zoom and here in person some of the folks that help make all of this possible all year round and accomplishing all the things that we do as a community. Some of our fellow elected officials that are here today, Congresswoman Debbie Dingell, our Mayor Pro Tem Wendy Pate, and City Councilman Nelson Perugi as well in attendance. So give them a big round of applause. They deserve it. So I'm just going to dive right into some of the bigger items of interest, and before doing that, I would also be remiss if I did not recognize our City Administrator, Dean Creech, today for being such, I know he's already putting his eyes down at me here, but for being such a big part of this. It was about a year ago, actually, the evening that I delivered my State of the City last year, that we were able to formally announce Dean as our acting City Administrator at the time, in February of 2021. He had previously served as our fire chief since 2015, and was very fortunate that after the election in November, he agreed to stay on a permanent basis, and so much of this has been possible because of his efforts. So he's done a tremendous job, and we're definitely looking forward to continuing that for a long time. So diving right in here, some of the big ticket items that everyone wants to hear about, of course, first. The former McLeod Steel site and the Crown Enterprises, the current owners there. The first portion of the cleanup has been completed with a report submitted to the EPA and Eagle for their review. Crown has already spent over $20 million on that site for remediation work to take down some of those bladed structures, which I think anyone could notice when they take a drive down West Jefferson. The project itself and the cleanup has already been nominated for a national award that recognizes the EPA and Eagle officials, along with representatives from Crown and the City of Trenton, including our late Mayor Kyle Stack and former Administrator Jim Wagner, who played such a big role in those. Now, there's definitely plenty of remediation work to continue on that, the extent of which will be dictated by the development opportunities. And as of this point, no formal or informal marketing or development plans have been submitted to the city, but we're going to continue to work very diligently to bring about a development that is both environmentally and economically sustainable, that provides for a solid tax base for our community to keep providing the services that we all have come so accustomed to, while protecting our natural resources and assets and making sure that we have the quality of life that all of our residents deserve here. Another exciting progress announcement we have had here so far too is at the Riverside Hospital site, where I think anyone driving by there as well could see that after the agreement we reached through a court-appointed receiver, demolition has begun on the house that was part of the property. It has already been completed on Riverside there, with the rest of the site scheduled to be cleared by late fall as per that agreement through the courts. Fortunately, this required no financial commitments from the city of Trenton. While we have not received any development plans through the current owner of the site yet, demolition is going to be very critical in what is going to be a very, very valuable piece of property along our waterfront that's going to bring so much opportunity for not just our downtown, but the entirety of the community and all the residents who live nearby. We've put over the course of the last year, two and a half years or so, time flies when you're having fun. We've put a big emphasis on the development of our downtown area, and I think a lot of folks here probably had the opportunity to enjoy some of that this past weekend. We created a social district that allows for alcoholic beverages to be sold from liquor licensees in part of a designated zone, and frankly allows folks to walk up and down the street, travel into stores, and do things that we thought would be a great idea to help our small businesses throughout the course of the pandemic who struggled so much, and help bring people together as part of the community and bring that sense of vibrancy that we all know we have the ability to. We've seen a huge uptick in events and a reinvigoration of our DDA with a lot more exciting ideas and plans to come. We've seen probably everyone in this room has either participated in any of the Sip Shop and Strolls, the Winter Festival of last weekend, the Taste of Trenton that was held, all doing things that help bring about more walkability, more sense of vibrancy, and more development. Even just this past weekend, walking into some of the shops downtown, seeing them absolutely full of people was a really encouraging sign and something that made me very, very proud of our town. Continuing on the development front there, we'll have some exciting opportunities at the West Road and West Jefferson intersection, where the city was able to successfully sell that property for an exciting mixed-use development that's going to help bring that build density and more vibrancy and potentially be really the epicenter of our downtown. Our economic development coordinator, Jim Wagner, who's had a hand in just about all of these things as well, but is also working for grant opportunities through the DCC, through the EDA, opportunities for coal fire afflicted communities that will allow for more redevelopment type money to come in to the community, as we also pursue RRC certification through the state of Michigan, the Redevelopment Ready Community Status. This is something that the MEDC would be granting us that will allow for more development resources, and has been a joint effort between our administration, our planning commission, and our DDA to help streamline our development processes, establish more long-term planning for the community, and give a lot more extra teeth to our master plan to make sure that this is something that we can see through and build upon all the opportunity that we have. Moving a little bit out of the development front, at long last, in July, we will have curbside recycling in Trenton. Woohoo, exactly, yes, at long last. So we were able to put together a plan that after procuring grants from the state of Michigan and the recycling partnership for some startup costs, we're able to essentially front the money for us for our initial investments that we needed to make, and through a small per household fee, we'll be able to make this a sustainable long-term program, and frankly at much cheaper than some of our surrounding communities have been able to do it. This is something that we've been hearing about for years and years and years, and is something that our residents deserve, and I'm very excited that come July, that barring any sort of supply chain issues or anything like that, we will be having rolled out in our community, and we'll continue to work to find ways to add in our apartment buildings and condo complexes to that, but a huge step in the right direction for us. We also were able to finalize our community's marijuana ordinance that will allow for grow and processing centers. And while it doesn't allow for retail at this point, it has already seen help for where it isn't necessarily bringing as much tax revenue without the retail sale aspect of it. It has helped quite a bit in terms of transforming formerly blighted and vacant properties into nice improved buildings on our tax rolls. These will be exclusively in industrial zones along West Jefferson on the north and south parts of town with appropriate setbacks for schools, churches, neighborhoods, and other residential dwellings. So going into our different departments here, and we'll definitely recognize as many of the folks that we possibly can, but we'll start here with our Department of Public Service led by our DPS Director, Kevin Sargent. Who's had some great accomplishments in 2021 despite another year of COVID being at the forefront. Just like everywhere else, we've dealt with staffing issues, but have provided a great level of service to our residents, and the extraordinary work of our department continues to show how our employees are willing to step up, adapt, and take on additional responsibilities. In 2021, the DPS hired 4 new full-time employees and 1 part-time employee, and has officially replaced 18 new employees since 2015 out of a total workforce of 30. So there are currently 2 vacancies there, so feel free to pass that word along to any interested applicants. But the DPS does a great job of not only handling the day-to-day operations and maintenance of facilities, parks, various city events, the Elizabeth Park Marina, any city vehicles and equipment, all the baseball fields, but also has done a lot and does a lot regularly with our water department, sewer, sanitation, forestry, and grounds. 41 water main breaks and leaks were repaired over the course of the last year, and that does not include the one that happened during the snowstorm last week. But our water department really does a great job in making these repairs almost always in very adverse conditions by minimizing the time that the water is off and making sure safety is a priority. They also work to replace 28 older inoperable fire hydrants over the course of the year. The DPS staff cleaned and televised 47,870 feet of sewer mains. This is an ongoing program undertaken by the city to be proactive in keeping the sanitary sewer system operating effectively. While it's not necessarily the most exciting thing to talk about, it's incredibly important. And during this process, residential house leads are also inspected at the points where they connect to the city main lines. If a defect is noted, we do send out a courtesy letter to the homeowner and gives them a heads up or advanced warning to get those repairs in and hopefully prevent much more costly and dangerous backups. The sanitation department collected 11,320 tons of rubbish from residences, commercial trash, special pickups, and the transfer station. That also included an additional 4,008 tons of yard waste and 140 tons of recyclable materials at the transfer station, a number that I think we're going to see increase tremendously over this upcoming year, and looking forward to starting that recycling program in July this year. The city was hit with a couple major storms that caused a lot of tree damage, as we all saw. The crews removed and stumped 123 diseased, dead, and overgrown trees and trimmed an additional 165. We finished up the fall planting with 40 new trees in front of residences of 5 different species, and for the 34th consecutive year, were awarded Tree City USA. Moving on to our police department, led by our chief, Mike Oakley, and Deputy Chief Jake Davis. After a difficult 2020 and 2021 was a challenging but exciting year for the department. The effects of the pandemic continued to loom over, but the men and women of the Trenton Police Department continue to provide an excellent level of service to all of our residents and visitors here. We're currently budgeted for 34 full-time sworn officers, 1 full-time administrative assistant, and 2 part-time records clerks. Currently looking to fill 2 full-time officer positions, and we continue to look for creative ways to attract good candidates, but we face the same problem as many other departments across Michigan and the country, with a shortage of qualified applicants and many police academy attendees already having job offers well before graduation. So our detective bureau and our team of detectives continue to attack their caseload with incredible enthusiasm. Our 3 detectives bring a wide range of experience. One was a former SWAT operator, a former canine handler, and a former Wayne County Sheriff's deputy. Together, they investigated a total of 1,222 cases and closed 1,151 for an impressive 94% closure rate. Yeah, absolutely. Our patrol division continues to provide top-notch service to our residents and visitors and carry themselves with incredible dignity and professionalism. This is mostly due to the outstanding character of our personnel, but it's also a credit to the kindness and generosity of many of our residents throughout the pandemic. Our department continues to receive frequent donations of food, greeting cards, and anything expressing respect and appreciation they have for the work that they do in our community. Our Records Bureau continues to work hard, keeping up with all the demands for information. They're responsible for all of our FOIA requests, sex offender registries, discovery requests, concealed pistol license applications, gun registrations, and fingerprinting for pre-employment background checks. In addition to these, the records clerk frequently is the face of the department as the first person to greet the public upon entry. We have several specialized divisions within our department as well, including the Homeland Security investigations. We do have an officer assigned to Homeland Security, working with the group that focuses on financial crimes, which quite often tie into narcotic smuggling operations. The relationships with Homeland Security is invaluable, as cases worked by the financial crimes group frequently result in seizures which partially benefit the Trenton PD. And in addition to that, the experience gained by personnel working this assignment is a huge asset to our department. Officers often transition back to patrol and the detective bureau and have a step up when it comes to dealing with prosecutors, judges, search warrants, and investigating cases in general. Our school resource officer, and it's certainly been a challenging time for him. While he attended many training courses and has had a previous school resource officer as a good sounding board to learn from, he had to navigate through many changes because of the pandemic, and after schools reopened for in-person learning, there's certainly been more behavioral issues to deal with, but this has been a very valuable relationship with our school district, as has the relationship with Homeland Security for this program. Trenton Police continues to provide 3 personnel to the Downriver Mutual Aid SWAT team on an on-call basis. These officers train with their teams 1 or 2 days per month and provides a much-needed service to the Downriver communities. In 2021, SWAT responded to 15 callouts. 12 were for executing high-risk search warrants with a multi-jurisdictional drug investigation unit, while 3 involved barricaded gunmen. All incidents, fortunately, ended without any injury to law enforcement or bystanders. We have 1 Trenton officer assigned to the Downriver Mutual Aid dive team on an on-call basis. This dive team trains together 1 day per month and did respond to 3 incidents in 2021. We also have a Downriver crash team comprised of officers from several Downriver agencies that responds to traffic crashes with serious injuries. The Trenton Police provides 3 officers to this team, and these men are well trained in various aspects of crash investigation and reconstruction. They provide a valuable service to departments investigating serious crashes, as these investigations can be extremely tedious and time-consuming. This crash team responded to 49 crashes in 2021. Now, the events throughout the course of 2020 nationwide brought a lot of attention to our department and the needs that they may have for equipment for any large-scale events. They found that our riot helmets that were issued to each officer needed replacements, so we were able to dip into forfeiture funds to purchase new helmets for our officers. The department was also given a Ford Taurus that had previously been used by Trenton Transportation. They listened to the needs of the community and outfitted the vehicle as a slick-top traffic enforcement vehicle with subdued markings, and it has been perfect for directed patrol in areas where residents complain of speeding and reckless driving. Our officers also made our administration aware of issues with the reliability of the patrol fleet. We've been able to begin to address these problems with the purchase of 2 new Ford Interceptor vehicles, and we're currently looking for other options to bring that fleet up to date. Our officers heavily rely on in-car computers, which provides a wealth of information on vehicle registrations and often the occupants of the vehicles. This information is a huge benefit to officer safety, as the officers frequently determine if a driver has outstanding warrants before they even make contact. Our officers made us aware that the current computers were plagued with slow response time and many other issues, creating safety issues, and we were able to, alongside council and administration, get approval to purchase new computers for all of our patrol vehicles. Throughout 2021, our officers attended over 1,200 hours of training, covering a wide range of topics, including de-escalation techniques, fair and impartial policing, and safe interactions with the special needs population. Trenton PD continues to strive to improve with community relations initiatives and with the generosity of several local business owners and commitment of our officers. The department has been able to increase our presence and participation in community events. This has included a partnership with Mimi's Mission to equip all of our patrol cars with 911 ready bags to safely interact with children with autism. They've partnered with 911 Cell Phone Bank to accept donations of used cell phones to help provide financially challenged individuals who may not have the ability to contact emergency services. They participated in 3 trunk or treat events from Headkey Elementary School to the Cygenics and Small Biz Buys events. Hosted the first annual Shop with a Cop event where they shopped with and for 20 children Christmas presents ahead of the holidays. Our officers attended the raising of the Pride flag at City Hall alongside many other departments. Partnered with the Faith United Methodist Church to provide over $1,000 in grocery and gas station gift cards to needy families, and partnered with the Wine.FOP to provide Thanksgiving and Christmas food donations to needy families. Now, police officers, in terms of officer wellness, have generally been proud, sometimes to a fault, and they're known to be hesitant to keep to themselves if they are struggling. We saw a need to provide our officers with an alternative option, and through Chief Oakley, have partnered with Cortico, an app to provide access to a wellness application at their fingertips. Once the app is up and running, our officers and their spouses, as well as civilian employees and retirees, will have instant access to chaplain support, self-assessment tools, referrals to local therapists, guided meditations, diet and workout tips, and one-touch dialing to several 24/7 support lines. All of these resources are confidential and geared specifically towards police. With more people out and about, the department statistics did rise in every category in 2021 compared to 2020, which saw huge declines. And although not as high as some of our previous numbers, our officers issued 33% more tickets in 2021 than 2020. The number of cases investigated saw a modest increase, but still rose by 8%, and the number of arrests increased by 27%. So those sound a little jarring, but they were huge fall-offs from 2019 to 2020 when nobody was leaving home. So moving on to, actually before I do that, I'm going to take a sip of water. I learned my lesson last year when I forgot to bring a bottle of water up with me, and caught up to me. Our fire department, led by Chief Keith Anderson, who unfortunately is not here today, but in 2021, the department saw it was a year of change and challenges. While continuing to respond to nearly 3,000 calls for service in the community, they did so during a pandemic outbreak. COVID brought many challenges to the fire service, in particular the means in which Trenton Fire provides emergency medical services. From supply chain shortages to changing protocols for COVID response every few weeks, to how to safely conduct training and even how to safely staff the stations, the firefighters have overcome credible obstacles with the ability to maintain the high level of service and care that Trenton residents know and expect. In addition, the fire department, along with partners from the Wayne County Health Department, our emergency operations manager Paul Haley, Trenton IT manager Teresa Monti, as well as Trenton Rotary and countless volunteers from groups within the community, were able to provide multiple COVID vaccination clinics right here at the Westfield Center last spring. Thousands of shots were administered over the course of multiple clinic dates, undoubtedly assisting in changing the course of the pandemic in our community in a positive direction. Wayne County reported to us that here in Trenton, we actually set the single-day record for vaccinations by a community-based clinic site with over 1,300 in one day. Last February, as I mentioned before, then Fire Chief Dean Creech left the department to take over, move across the street to City Hall, and when I appointed then Deputy Chief Keith Anderson as our acting Fire Chief. He accepted that appointment on a permanent basis this past November. In 2022 will bring a year of renewed challenges along with continued development of new leadership. Recently, Jason Martiniak has accepted the position of Deputy Chief, and we look forward to the impact that he will have within the department. Trenton Fire Department continues to look for new ways to further expand in its opportunity to serve the residents and guests of Trenton with the highest level of care. As referenced, our emergency management coordinator, Paul Haley, helped lead our COVID-19 response in coordinating 3 separate clinics throughout March and April of last year for vaccinations. It was a huge combined effort of city employees and volunteers at the Westfield Center and Wayne County Community College campus. along with our fire department and paramedics who did at-home visits as well for homebound seniors, and that were able to take advantage of that. He continues to monitor all the federal, state, and county guidelines for the pandemic and works with Beaumont Hospital as part of their emergency management committee. Paul does quite a bit of work with the school district as well, not only Trenton Public Schools, but Riverview Community Schools and St. Joseph Elementary School as well. He helped lead 5 fire drills, 2 tornado drills, and 3 lockdown drills while serving as part of their safety team. He does work for the weather siren testings at the first Saturday of the month that we all get to hear, and led city participation in the Earth EX21 electrical magnetic pulse event. He represented Midwest cities in the National Weather Service for a tabletop exercise, which the exercise stopped and turned into a real-world event in December during the devastating tornadoes in Texas and Kentucky that came in December. Our building and engineering departments, led by our city engineer, Dennis Chigash, I guess, there he goes. Dennis here, continues to review projects and daily activities over the past year, with another challenging and productive year for the departments. Private development continues to strengthen in Trenton, keeping us very busy with many projects throughout the city. The extraordinary work of our building and engineering departments shows how our employees are always willing to step up and take on additional responsibilities and certainly go with the flow. Our building permit projections continue to be on the upswing, with nearly $12 million in the value of construction, plus almost $8 million in improvements at the DTE quarry last year. We saw 8 new homes constructed in Trenton and 3 multi-family apartment buildings under construction. The Trenton Building Department does continue to provide permitting and inspection services for the city of Gibraltar as well, and a great testament of cooperation and community shared services. The housing market in Trenton, I think we all know, remains very robust, fortunately. The vacant property registration program continues to contribute greatly to the quality of life here. These inspections require property improvements that enhance our neighborhoods and help create a safe environment for everyone. In 2008, we had 868 registered vacant properties in Trenton, and that remaining balance going into the calendar year here was 3. That means 865 former vacant properties were inspected, renovated, and either reoccupied or are in the process of being occupied. This speaks very highly to the diligence, expertise, and dedication of our staff, along with the attractiveness of the city of Trenton. We have 13 new businesses that had opened in 2021 here in Trenton. That includes Tobacco Town Cigar, Under the Bridge Auto Sales, Floors by Bill, Diane's, Sully's Bar and Grill, Loving Care Home Care, Wild Wild West Tobacco, Public Service Credit Union, Premier Physicians of Michigan, the Downtown Beauty Bar, All About Grace, Vintage Market Mercantile, and Fluffed Up Pets. We already have 5 businesses set to open in 2022. The Offices Inc., Downtown BBR Realty, Trenton Rivertown Saloon, A Touch of Glass Florist, and Time Pizza. And currently there are 13 new homes already under construction in our city. In our engineering department, they've already commenced the 2021, or had commenced the 2021 sanitary sewer cleaning and TV product and cast-in-place pipe program running concurrently. It allows the city to keep up to date on monitoring the condition of our sanitary sewer system in preparation for installment of a polymer lining in old sewer pipes, extending the life of many sections of our sewer by as many as 50 years. Harrison Road between 4th Street and the railroad tracks was in really poor condition and was substantially removed, reconstructed with many drainage improvements there. We've had reconstruction of the intersection at Hoover and Vreeland, an intersection that's heavily used by neighboring industrial properties and was a perennial maintenance problem for our DPW until it was rebuilt in concrete in the fall of 2021. Our 2021 concrete program was undertaken between May and October with $1.6 million in improvements in our roads across the community. The old brick screen wall in front of the city hall was in, frankly, terrible condition and past the point of repair. It was also kind of ugly and didn't really serve much purpose. So for less than $20,000, the wall was removed, as was the sunken courtyard adjacent to the wall. And that's going to be something that we think is going to have a great opportunity for community gathering space and tie together very nicely with the development at West and West Jefferson, really our downtown as a whole. Work continues at the Brooks Meadow development at the corner of Harrison and Grange. It is expected to be fully opened come 2022 with many new single-family dwellings. And then certainly, as mentioned before, the demolition of the cardiologist's office at 2205 Riverside, seeing the positive movement there as it is tied to redevelopment and demolition of the former Riverside Hospital site. Looking forward to 2022, we're hoping that it will eclipse all that was accomplished in 2021. We'll certainly have challenges with Volusia and Eastman leaving town and the decommissioning of the DTE power plant coming in the next couple months. It certainly creates unique problems, but we remain optimistic that whatever industry replaces them will be even more vibrant and profitable addition to our town. The long-anticipated demolition of the old Riverside site will really provide a positive impetus towards the redevelopment of locations along our riverfront. Now, we're hoping construction costs begin to finally stabilize and planned municipal construction projects can proceed as planned here. And some of those possible projects for us include the entranceway at City Hall there, continuing our concrete street and sidewalk paving program, beginning the asphalt paving joint sealing program, replacement of the Helen Street sanitary sewer, replacement of several water mains across the town with undersized or dead-end mains, continuing the cured in place pipe program, completion and occupation of the Hampton Inn at 4th Street in Vreeland, demolition of the remainder of the Riverside Hospital, redevelopment such as at vacant lands such as the former Clock Tower property, the former McLeod Steel site in Volusia Eastman, continuing to work to improve our streetscaping along West Road between 4th Street and the high school, and certainly the repair and replacement of the boardwalk in Rotary Park once we can get our ducks in a row with the water levels there. The City of Trenton engineering and building departments are committed to being on the forefront where new innovations might produce a more safe, secure, and vibrant life for all the residents and businesses in Trenton. And we'll continue to work closely with all of our municipal departments to provide support wherever possible, but mostly they'll continue to serve the residents of Trenton and provide that excellent level of service that they deserve. At our wastewater treatment plant, led by our superintendent, Julie Willison, I saw Julie here too, operates seven days a week, 24 hours a day, and last year treated a total of 1.45 billion gallons of wastewater, domestic and industrial, which included over 32 inches of rainwater. We're proud to say that we were able to process all of this water with no unauthorized discharges to the Detroit River. The treatment plant has had an interesting and somewhat challenging year with COVID like everyone else, but saw the closure of Volusia, which created new issues for us with the reduction of water usage and flow there. We had 3 senior operators retire with a combined 85 years of experience, saw record rainfall in our city over summer and fall. We were able to welcome in 2 new operators who continue to maintain and upgrade our plant along the way. We completed our LED light installation with about 90% of the lighting at this plant upgraded with motion sensors to save on energy. Installed 16 new primary gates, 2 new raw check valves, numerous pump and motor replacements, all with our own city employees. Going forward, we'll continue to look for ways to upgrade and improve the plant in 2022, including new cement work, upgrades to our SCADA system, upgrades to our retention basement, and continued and ongoing maintenance of our equipment. We have to give a lot of credit to our hardworking employees at the treatment plant who serve the residents and produce the cleanest water possible for us. Our Trenton Parks and Recreation Department, Tim Beaker, who is our director there, who's hopefully getting a nap after the showcase this weekend. It was certainly a long and successful weekend there, and has already been hard at work for 2022. The revamped co-ed basketball program has taken off for kindergartners through 3rd graders with games and practices underway at the elementary school for almost 100 kids. The Trenton Swim Club has worked hand in hand with the recreation department, putting the swimmers back into the pool at the brand new high school pool. The Westfield Center is back up and running here with our senior programming from the New Horizons Club and the Friendship Club to Bridge, Euchre, and Mahjong groups participating weekly. The Garden Angels, Moonglow Garden groups, and many more volunteers have continued to create gardens that are an envy for all at the Cultural Center in MacArthur Park, where they've continued to maintain the gardens that provides an overwhelming amount of produce to many individuals throughout the city. The Kennedy Recreation Center has been running full throttle as we hosted the MIHL Showcase this past weekend, along with the Michigan Girls High School Showcase, high school hockey playoffs, Little Caesars playoffs, Adre playoffs, junior hockey tryout camps, midget AAA showcases, and so many more daily activities for our seniors, youth, and everyone in between. We're looking forward to a few projects that we hope underway this summer, including improvements to Affolter Park, utilizing a Wayne County Parks Millage Grant to improve tennis courts and basketball courts and adding in pickleball courts. The department will continue to work alongside the Recreation Commission, Cultural Commission, and countless community groups to bring many great projects and initiatives that will spruce up our town for everyone to enjoy. And last but certainly not least, our library, led by our library director, Aaron Chapman, just across the parking lot here. Trenton Veterans Memorial Library offers almost 105,000 physical materials, with a collection stocked with vital resources from fiction and nonfiction, audiobooks on CD, music and movies for every age, and downloadable ebooks, audiobooks, e-magazines, TV shows, and music through Overdrive and Hoopla. Once you have a library card, you have access to 74 other libraries in Southeast Michigan as well. And library patrons checked out 85,000 physical items, plus 60,000 ebooks, audiobooks, streaming, and downloadable magazines, subscription services, and the likes. Throughout the pandemic, the staff created and renewed library cards for qualifying community members via phone and email, delivered materials to patrons in their cars in the parking lot, as well as hosted in-person and virtual programs like story times, presentations on healthy living, book discussion groups via Zoom and Facebook, and the likes. Our librarians created a variety of to-go craft kits for patrons of all ages, as well as crafting videos on our websites and social media. Our adult services librarian, in partnership with Operation Gratitude, provided the opportunity to send letters of gratitude to wounded warriors, first responders, and active military personnel. This September to November, our youth librarian provided in-person story times for children ages 0 to 5, with 286 children and caregivers attending in person. In 2021, Ancestry.com, the genealogy database, offered remote access to their database, and we had 790 logins through the city of Trenton. With funds from the Library of Michigan's CARES Act grant, the library also offers Wi-Fi hotspots and Chromebooks for checkout. The library has 14 hotspots available for checkout, and if no one is waiting on hold for a hotspot, they will renew twice, potentially being available for checkout for 3 weeks. And the same goes for our Chromebook collection. The library offers 8 Chromebooks and also offers public computers, printing, self-service faxing, photocopying, study tables, and with appropriate social distancing and cleaning wipes provided to all of our visitors. The library received a new roof this summer, as well as an awning over the book drop, and our phone service has been updated and improved. The Friends of the Library is a 501c3 organization whose mission is to raise awareness and funds to support the services and programs of the city. This year, the Friends purchased a disc cleaning machine, which allows our staff to keep our audiobooks on CD and DVD in top shape. They sponsored programs like online yoga presentation, weekly summer reading program prizes, and a popular collection of latest bestsellers. They also purchased an interior book drop-off to receive donations inside the library, and offers their book sale cart twice a week, usually on Wednesdays from 2 to 6 and Saturdays from 11 to 3, selling gently used books, CDs, DVDs for between 25 cents and $1. The library celebrated the summer reading programs for children, teens, and adults, with 265 children and teens participating, winning gift cards for achieving specific amounts of reading. 90 adults participated in a summer reading challenge this year, also winning gift cards to local shops and businesses. In partnership with our library board, local Kiwanis groups, and the library network, the library now offers book return bins at the Brownstown Community Center, Grosseal Police Department, and Woodhaven Community Center. The library network's delivery department picked up returned items multiple times a week and delivered them back to the library. They're grateful to have the bins out there and for their generous donations from the Kiwanis Club of Grosseal and Woodhaven. Library staff regularly post updates on our social media pages and on our website. And follow us on social media, stop by the library, or give them a call whenever. We look forward to helping you find whatever you may be looking forward to read, join in program-wise, or whatever opportunity there is to connect with the community. Well, last, I would certainly be remiss if I didn't say thank you to all of our city employees. These are really the people that make all of this possible for all of us so far, day in and day out. Whether it's one of our police officers or paramedics helping someone out after an accident, one of our DPW employees working to plow through the roads or fix a water main break in terrible weather. Our clerical employees at City Hall, working through voter registrations, helping process building permits, or any of our department heads stuck very late in the evenings at council meetings or any of our various other endeavors. Our city really would not be what it is today without all of them, and I would ask that I think it would be the least we could do to give them a giant round of applause for helping make this all happen. Now, I can assure you that none of them are in it for the money, but they all have a passion to give back to all of you and make our community a better place every single day. So thank you all again for being here today, and thank you for doing what you do to make Trenton the place that it is and making me so proud of my hometown every day. Now, we're definitely going to face many challenges as a community in the coming years, but with every great challenge comes even greater opportunity, and I've never been more confident in the direction that we are headed as a city. Remember that alone we can do so little, but together we can do so much. Thank you all very much and have a great day.
Before you leave, in partnership with the City of Trenton, I am going to present a $2,000 check from the Trenton Rotary Club, as agreed in a special tree planting agreement that was approved by City Council in January. So there's a $2,000 check for you to take that.
Awesome, thank you very much. It wasn't made out to my name, though?
No, it's not made out to you, sorry. Okay. I just wanted to thank everybody for attending today, and I want to thank our Zoom guests as well. I do want to thank our sponsors one more time. That's the Southern Wayne County Regional Chambers, Beckett and Rader, Trenton Profile Magazine, DTE Energy, Public Service Credit Union, and of course Comcast for sponsoring this event. Thank you to Truago's Delicious Meal. Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you to the TBA for presenting this every year. They partner up with us. That's wonderful. And then our planners, we have Kathy Kane. Raise your hand, Kathy Kane. We have Paulette Dillingham. Where is she? Paulette, she's back there in the corner. And then we have Ronnie Newell, who's known for candy making. She shows you the sweet side of Trenton Rotary. So Ronnie, you want to raise your hand? And then, of course, we had Jean helping out at registration today, so thank you, Jean. So I must say, before I adjourn the meeting, I am going to put one more plug in for our main fundraiser, the Shamrock Shindig, March 12th. $50 for a raffle ticket's the best $50 you'll ever spend. Not only will you have 20 chances to win $250 or more, even if you don't win, guess what? All the good things that we do in the community, you know your money's well spent. Please, anybody that likes to have some fun on St. Patty's Day, it's going to be a fun party. So please join us on March 12th for the Shamrock Shindig. If you buy a raffle ticket and an event ticket, you actually save $15. So again, a very easy way to have a good time plus give back to your community. And then the last thing is the blood drive, so important. That's going to be on February 21st from 1 o'clock to 7 o'clock, redcrossblood.org. At the very least, please consider giving blood. And with that, thank you all for attending. Meeting is adjourned. I don't have my bag.